Interviewing you. I'm Laura, this is Rosie. This is for our high school news program, Wheeler TV.
Okay.
Oh, I took off my shoes, but then you put yours back on, so I put mine back on. Okay. So,
our shoes, all right.
Here, do you get our feet? We're not wearing shoes. No shoes. Okay. So I'm Laura Nelson. It's an absolute pleasure to meet you. I'm so happy that you came here today. My first question is that so much has gotten in your way. First, the failed K2 attempt, and then lack of funds, and then all the hate mail that you were getting. Can you share some ways that high school students can stay inspired?
One thing I think that's important is to not be afraid to fail, and it's okay to make mistakes. When I was in high school, when I turned 16, I went to take my driver's license test, and I totaled the family car. I missed a field goal in college that would have won the game, and we all make mistakes. When that moment happens, think of this proverb, when it is dark, you can see the stars. I think it's also really important to listen to your heart. You know, we're taught in the West to be logical and linear, think with our head, but I think it's also important that we listen to our heart. And I find that in indigenous societies, they're very dialed into their intuition, and that could be something we could do.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have you always had an interest in following in your parents' footsteps by building the school, or was building that school in Corfe completely unexpected?
Building school is completely unexpected, and again, it's kind of like that saying I said, listen to your heart. When I saw that, when a young girl named Chocho came up to me and said, can you help us build a school? I had like this eureka moment. I said, I promise I'll build a school for you.
That's awesome, thank you. My opinion is that before you can really have peace, we all have to understand that we're just human. What are some similarities between people in Pakistan and people in America?
Well, I think some similarities are that we all cherish and value some of the same things. We like time to be with our families. We like time to be with each other and hang out. I think something else that's important also is that I think everyone wants to have hope. And you know, if you fight terrorism, it's based in fear. But if you promote peace, like you said, it's based in hope. And hope is something that is very powerful. And I think sometimes we're so busy being afraid or building walls that we don't build bridges and we don't have hope. And I think it's important for all people to have hope.
What are some other things that we can take from their culture and learn from them?
One thing that's important is that they listen to their elders and grandparents a lot.
It's fine.
Here in America, I've talked in hundreds of schools across the country and asked the question, how many of you have talked in detail to your grandparents about World War II or the Depression or Vietnam or something that happened a long time ago? In America, only about 10% of the kids put their hands up. If you ask that same question in Pakistan and Afghanistan, 90% of the hands come up. And I think it's important that we need to cherish and respect that oral tradition. We learn from our forefathers and our elders about history, culture, folklore, and other things.
That's definitely true. So I have one kind of funny question. If you were going to be shipped off to a deserted island, what 3 things would you take with you?
Well, first I take my wife and my son and my daughter. That would leave me naked on a beach, but at least I'd have my family with me. And I would probably want something else if I could make 5 things.
Okay,
obviously I have to have water so I could survive. And then I'd probably bring a book because I'd want something to read. And to me, storytelling and reading books is so important.
Thank you. I have actually
one
more.
You ask me what book would you bring?
Actually, I have one more question. Will you sign my book?
Oh, certainly. I'd be very honored to do that.
I have a pen. So I'm Laura Nelson here with Mr. Ross. What was your favorite part of this presentation?
My favorite part was the message that Greg had for all the students in this community, that education really is the most important thing. I think oftentimes we in the United States take it for granted, that it's just something that kids are expected to do, and they don't understand everything that goes into educating a kid. And I think we don't appreciate the fact that education's free here, and it's for everyone, regardless of your race or your religion or your socioeconomic level. Everyone is educated here, and I think we take that for granted. I think our students and parents take that for granted, and I think opening our eyes to the fact that in many or most parts of the world it's not the same is enlightening.
That's definitely true. What were your thoughts on, he pointed out quite a few things about educating women as much as boys, and in other countries that just is not like it is here. It seems just as normal as day here.
Well, I think the point that Mr. Mortenson was trying to get at is when you educate a woman, a mother, a future mother, she's going to pass that on to her kids. She's going to pass it on to her offspring, who will then pass it on to their offspring. So really, when you educate a boy, you're educating one person. But when you educate a mother, you're educating future generations to come and really impacting the world.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Hey Oilers, I'm here with my English teacher, Mr. Kameh, who's definitely not taller than me. We just watched Greg Mortenson's presentation, and what do you think was the best thing you took from this presentation?
I like his idea about empowerment through education. I like the idea that females need to be educated, and I hope people heard that. I like that he promoted peace and the idea that it wasn't necessarily through force that the world's problems could possibly be settled.
That's definitely some good things to learn from that.